Most people over 60 are told the same thing when they start losing muscle. You just need more protein. It sounds logical, right? Protein builds muscle, so more protein should mean more muscle. But here's the truth most people don't realize. After 60, your body doesn't work the same way it did when you were 30. You can eat all the chicken eggs and protein shakes you want, but if your body isn't able to activate and use that protein, it won't turn into muscle. It will either be converted to glucose or excreted as waste. That's why so many older adults feel frustrated. They're doing everything, right? But still losing strength, energy, and tone. The problem isn't the lack of protein. It's that your body has lost the ability to use it efficiently. As you age, something called anabolic resistance begins to occur. This means your muscle cells become less responsive to the signals that tell them to grow and repair. Your growth hormone, testosterone, and IGF-1 levels start to decline, and your muscle protein synthesis rate drops. In simple terms, the machinery that once turned amino acids into muscle fibers starts to slow down. So even when you're getting enough protein, your body can't process it the same way. It's like pouring high-quality fuel into an engine that's missing a spark plug. The energy is there, but it can't be used properly. And here's the part that surprises most people. It's not a protein problem. It's a nutrient activation problem. Every single process in your body that builds muscle, from digesting protein to synthesizing new tissue, depends on minerals, enzymes, and cofactors. When one of these is missing, the whole system slows down. That's why someone can be eating perfectly balanced meals and still lose muscle mass. The most common missing link here is magnesium, the mineral that activates the enzymes responsible for turning protein into usable muscle tissue. Without it, your body can't carry out the chemical reactions that build new muscle, no matter how much protein you eat. This is why so many older adults are protein sufficient but muscle deficient. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. But magnesium doesn't just help you use protein. It also supports the hormones that control muscle growth. It helps regulate testosterone and insulin, both of which are crucial for maintaining lean muscle and burning fat. It's like the silent key that unlocks your body's ability to repair and rebuild. When magnesium levels are low, and studies show nearly 70% of adults over 60 are deficient, your body becomes resistant to anabolic signals. You feel tired after mild activity, the recovery takes longer, and your muscle tone starts to fade, even if your diet hasn't changed. You may blame aging, but the real culprit is often a simple mineral imbalance. Think about this. When you were younger, you could work out, eat some protein, and see results in days. After 60, it takes weeks or even months to see the same progress. That's not just about age. That's about efficiency. Your metabolism, your hormones, and your enzymes all slow down without the right nutrients. Magnesium acts like the switch that turns on the machinery. It helps your cells absorb amino acids, convert them into muscle tissue, and generate ATP, the energy molecule that fuels every muscle contraction. Without it, your body simply can't rebuild effectively, no matter how much protein you consume. So the next time you think you need more protein, pause and ask, is your body even using what you're already eating? Because if it's not, more protein isn't the answer. Better utilization is, and the key to that lies in restoring the minerals and cofactors that make protein synthesis possible. Once you fix that, everything changes. Your workouts feel stronger, your energy returns, your recovery speeds up, and suddenly you start seeing real results again, not because you're eating more, but because your body is finally using what it already has. That's the secret most people over 60 never hear about. They chase more protein when what they really need is better activation. And that's where the true power of nutrition begins. Not in how much you eat, but in how well your body can use it. Most people think of magnesium as just another mineral, something you get from leafy greens or maybe from a supplement if your doctor mentions it. But what if I told you that magnesium is actually one of the most powerful muscle-building minerals your body depends on, especially after 60? You see, when it comes to rebuilding muscle, protein gets all the attention. But without magnesium, your body can't even begin the process of turning protein into muscle. It's the spark plug that makes the engine of muscle growth run, and most people are unknowingly running on empty. Here's the truth. A magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, and more than half of those are directly related to energy production, muscle function, and recovery. Every time your muscles contract, relax, or repair, magnesium is there, guiding the process. Without it, the enzymes responsible for protein synthesis can't do their job. So, when you eat a high-protein meal or drink a protein shake, your body needs magnesium to break down those amino acids, transport them into the cells, and rebuild damaged muscle tissue. If you're deficient, that entire chain reaction stalls. It's like having the raw materials to build a house, but no workers to assemble it. The reason magnesium becomes so essential after 60 is because your body's natural ability to absorb and retain it declines with age. You may be eating enough magnesium-rich foods, but your gut isn't pulling in as much of it as it used to. Combine that with medications, caffeine, stress, or a low mineral diet, and you've got the perfect storm for deficiency. Studies show that almost 70% of adults over 60 have suboptimal magnesium levels, and that's a silent epidemic no one talks about. The symptoms often sneak up slowly: fatigue, muscle cramps, stiffness, poor sleep, low energy, and weaker recovery after exercise. These are all signs your muscles are starving for magnesium, even if your protein intake is perfect. But magnesium doesn't just help you recover. It literally determines whether your body is in a building state or a breaking down state. It supports the production of ATP, the energy molecule every cell uses to function. What most people don't know is that ATP isn't active unless it's bound to magnesium. It's technically called MgATP. That means without enough magnesium, your body can't generate energy efficiently. The result? Your muscles fatigue faster, your workouts feel harder, and your recovery slows down dramatically. That's why people over 60 often say, "I just don't bounce back like I used to." It's not just age, it's a lack of magnesium fueling the recovery process. And here's another powerful insight: magnesium directly influences your hormonal environment. It helps regulate testosterone and growth hormone, the very hormones that signal your body to build and maintain lean muscle mass. When magnesium is low, those signals weaken. You could be exercising, eating right, and sleeping well, but without enough magnesium, the body simply doesn't the message to grow. The muscle fibers stay in a state of repair delay. They can't complete the rebuilding phase efficiently. This is why restoring magnesium levels can make such a dramatic difference. It reignites that anabolic switch that many older adults believe has permanently shut off. Magnesium also acts as a natural relaxant for the muscles and nervous system. This might not sound directly related to muscle growth, but it's critical. When your muscles can't relax properly, they stay tense and inflamed, which limits blood flow and nutrient delivery. Magnesium helps calm that process, allowing more oxygen and nutrients to reach the muscle cells so they can rebuild faster and stronger. Better relaxation also means better sleep. And sleep is when the majority of muscle recovery and growth occur. You can't separate one from the other. Magnesium fuels the entire cycle. So when you think about rebuilding muscle after 60, don't just think about how much protein you're eating. Think about how well your body is using it. Because without enough magnesium, even the best diet and exercise plan will fall short. The real magic happens when you supply your body with this missing mineral. Energy improves, soreness decreases, strength returns, and suddenly your body starts responding again, not because you're doing more, but because your cells finally have the power to rebuild. That's how transformative magnesium can be. It's not a supplement you take for small benefits. It's a foundational nutrient that unlocks the entire process of muscle regeneration. Most people are missing it, but once they fix that deficiency, everything else, energy, recovery, strength, starts falling into place naturally. Nearly everyone over the age of 60 experiences it. That gradual decline in strength, slower recovery after simple activities, and the frustrating feeling that your muscles just aren't responding anymore. You might think it's just aging, but in reality, one of the most overlooked causes is magnesium deficiency. This silent problem is far more common than most people realize. In fact, studies suggest that nearly 70% of older adults aren't getting enough magnesium, and that single deficiency can block your body's ability to build and maintain muscle. No matter how healthy your diet or exercise routine may be, it's one of those invisible barriers that slowly robs your body of energy, power, and resilience. And once you understand how it works, everything starts to make sense. Magnesium isn't just a nutrient, it's the biochemical key that allows your muscles to grow, contract, and repair. Every time you move, lift, or even breathe, magnesium is there, activating enzymes, fueling muscle fibers, and supporting nerve communication. Without it, your muscles can't respond properly to the signals your brain sends. Over time, that creates what I call silent resistance. Your muscles are getting the message to grow, but they no longer have the raw materials to act on it. It's like sending workers to build a house without giving them any tools. You might be eating enough protein and exercising regularly, but if magnesium levels are low, your body simply cannot rebuild the way it should. When magnesium levels drop, one of the first things that happens is a decrease in insulin sensitivity and nutrient uptake. That means the amino acids from your food, the very building blocks of muscle, can't efficiently enter your cells. Your body starts to store more of what you eat as fat instead of using it for muscle repair. This is one reason why people over 60 can feel like their metabolism has slowed down. It's not that your metabolism disappeared. It's that your body is struggling to use the nutrients properly because the system that drives energy production has stalled. Magnesium deficiency essentially makes your muscles resistant to growth, and that's why progress can feel impossible even when you're putting in the effort. Another powerful effect of magnesium is its role in reducing chronic inflammation. When magnesium is low, inflammation markers rise, and your body remains in a constant state of stress. That inflammation makes it harder for muscles to recover after exercise, and the soreness lingers longer than it should. You might start avoiding activity because it leaves you too tired or sore. and that only accelerates muscle loss. Magnesium, on the other hand, acts as a natural anti-inflammatory agent. It helps calm the nervous system, improves blood flow to the muscles, and supports oxygen delivery, all of which are critical for healing and recovery. But the impact doesn't stop there. Magnesium deficiency directly affects ATP production, the body's main energy molecule. Without enough magnesium, ATP simply can't function. It's technically called MEG-ATP, meaning magnesium has to be bound to ATP for it to be active. When you don't have enough, your muscles can't generate power, and that translates to fatigue, weakness, and a slower rebuilding process. Think of it like trying to run a high-performance engine without oil. Everything grinds down, performance drops, and wear and tear accelerate. One of the most striking things I see in older adults with low magnesium is how it changes their recovery curve. A simple workout that should cause mild soreness might leave them drained for days. They'll describe their muscles as tight, archy, or slow to bounce back. These are clear indicators that magnesium is low. Once levels are restored, that stiffness fades, energy returns, and the body feels more responsive again. It's as if the muscles wake up from a long sleep. And that's not an exaggeration. Magnesium literally restores the electrical and chemical balance needed for your muscles to function normally. If you've been struggling with muscle loss, the poor strength, or that heavy fatigue that doesn't seem to go away, there's a good chance the root cause isn't just aging. It's a systemic magnesium deficiency. The good news is, once you address it, the body responds quickly. Within weeks of optimizing magnesium levels, people report improved energy, deeper sleep, less stiffness, and more visible muscle tone. That's because the moment your cells have access to magnesium again, they can finally switch back into growth and repair mode. So while most people think declining muscle mass after 60 is unavoidable, it's often preventable and reversible when you fix the underlying mineral imbalance. Magnesium doesn't just support muscle growth, it enables it. It's the difference between fighting against your body and finally working with it. Once you give your muscles the magnesium they've been missing, you'll feel it. More strength, better recovery, and that youthful vitality returning again. Most people don't realize that the secret to rebuilding muscle after 60 isn't found in a bottle of supplements or another protein powder. It's found right on your plate. The human body is designed to absorb nutrients best from real whole foods. And when it comes to magnesium, that couldn't be more true. You can't force muscle growth by eating more calories or protein if your body is still missing the natural minerals that activate those processes. The key lies in restoring magnesium levels the right way through magnesium-rich, nutrient-dense foods that your body can easily recognize, absorb, and use. This isn't about taking shortcuts. It's about rebuilding the foundation of your body at a cellular level so that your muscles finally have the tools they need to grow again. The foods richest in magnesium are also some of the most healing and anti-inflammatory foods on the planet. Think of dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. These are loaded with chlorophyll, and magnesium is at the very center of every chlorophyll molecule. That's right, when you eat green, you're essentially eating magnesium in its most natural, bioavailable form. This mineral feeds your muscles, supports your heart, and even helps calm your nervous system. But here's the problem, most people simply don't eat enough of these foods. They rely on processed meals, refined grains, and packaged snacks that have been stripped of their minerals. Over time, that leads to a slow and steady depletion that shows up as fatigue, weakness, and slower muscle recovery. Adding magnesium-rich foods into your diet is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to reverse this process. Pumpkin seeds, for example, are one of nature's highest sources of magnesium, along with almonds, Brazil nuts, and sunflower seeds. A small handful each day can dramatically increase your magnesium intake without the need for supplements. These foods don't just deliver magnesium. They also provide healthy fats and trace minerals that support hormone balance and inflammation control, both critical for maintaining muscle mass after 60. Even better, these foods stabilize blood sugar, helping to prevent insulin spikes that can block muscle growth and promote fat storage. One of the most underrated magnesium sources is avocado. Not only is it rich in magnesium, but it's also loaded with potassium and healthy monounsaturated fats. These nutrients work together to support muscle hydration and nerve function. When your muscles are well hydrated and electrically balanced, they contract more efficiently and recover faster. Combine avocados with leafy greens in a salad, sprinkle on some pumpkin seeds, and you've just created a natural muscle rebuilding meal that supports your metabolism from the inside out. If you're looking for magnesium sources from animal foods, wild-caught salmon and mackerel are excellent options. They provide not just magnesium, but also omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation in the muscles and joints. That's crucial because chronic inflammation is one of the biggest barriers to muscle growth in older adults. When inflammation is high, your body directs energy toward repair and defense instead of building. Magnesium paired with omega-3s helps shift your body back into a growth state, calm, nourished, and ready to rebuild. Even a small indulgence like dark chocolate, preferably 85% cacao or higher, can be a powerful magnesium source. It's packed with antioxidants that improve blood flow, enhance mood, and lower cortisol, your stress hormone. Lower cortisol means less muscle breakdown and better sleep, which is when most of your muscle repair actually happens. It's a simple, enjoyable way to help your body recover faster and feel stronger. But eating these foods is only part of the equation. For many people over 60, digestive efficiency declines, meaning the stomach doesn't produce as much acid as it used to. This makes it harder to extract magnesium and other nutrients from food. That's why I often recommend pairing magnesium-rich meals with foods that support digestion, such as fermented vegetables, apple cider vinegar, or lemon water before meals. These help reawaken the digestive system and enhance mineral absorption. The more efficiently your body absorbs magnesium, the faster you'll feel the benefits. Improved strength, better energy, and reduced muscle soreness. What's incredible is that once magnesium levels start to normalize, everything else begins to improve naturally. You'll notice better endurance during activity, more stable energy throughout the day, and deeper, more restorative sleep at night. That's your body responding to real nourishment. You're not forcing it, you're simply giving it what it's been missing. This is the kind of change that doesn't just build muscle, it restores vitality. And it all starts with making small, consistent choices, choosing spinach over bread, almonds over chips, and salmon over processed meats. Within weeks, your body begins to rebuild from the inside out stronger, leaner, and more alive than it's felt in years. That's the real power of restoring magnesium naturally. It doesn't just change how your muscles feel, it changes how your entire body performs. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 60 is assuming all magnesium supplements are the same. They're not. In fact, this is where many people go wrong. They hear about the benefits of magnesium, rush to the store, grab the first bottle they see, and then wonder why nothing changes. You might even experience digestive upset, loose stools, or no improvement in energy or muscle recovery. The problem isn't magnesium itself, it's the form you're taking. When it comes to rebuilding muscle, boosting energy, and supporting recovery after 60, the type of magnesium you use can make all the difference between real results and wasted effort. Magnesium comes in many forms, and each has a different level of absorption, or what we call bioavailability. The cheaper forms like magnesium oxide are poorly absorbed. Your body can only take in about 4% of what's in the capsule. The rest simply passes through, often causing digestive discomfort. That's why you'll find so many people who say, magnesium doesn't work for me. The truth is, they're not using the right kind. For muscle health, energy production, and recovery, you need a form of magnesium that actually gets into your cells, not one that just moves through your digestive system. The two best forms for older adults looking to rebuild muscle are magnesium glycinate and magnesium malate. Magnesium glycinate is bound to the amino acid glycine, which makes it extremely gentle on the stomach and highly absorbable. Glycine also has a calming effect on the nervous system, helping you relax, sleep deeper, and recover faster. All essential factors in muscle repair. When you're getting good sleep, your body releases more growth hormone and rebuilds tissue more effectively. That's why magnesium glycinate is often considered the muscle recovery form of magnesium. Magnesium malate, on the other hand, is paired with malic acid, a compound involved in the Krebs cycle, the process your body uses to generate energy inside your cells. This form of magnesium helps fight fatigue and improve endurance. People who take magnesium malate often report higher energy levels, less soreness after workouts, and better stamina throughout the day. It's perfect for those who feel sluggish or struggle with muscle fatigue even after small amounts of activity. Together, magnesium glycinate and malate form a powerful combination. One helps you recover, and the other helps you perform. Now here's the interesting part. The form of magnesium you choose doesn't just affect absorption. It affects how your body responds hormonally and metabolically. Magnesium supports the production of testosterone, DHEA, and growth hormone, all of which are critical for maintaining muscle mass and preventing sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle tissue that accelerates after 60. But these hormonal benefits only occur when your magnesium levels are consistently elevated inside the cells, and that only happens with bioavailable forms. This is why switching to the right form can completely change your results. Many people notice changes within the first few weeks: deeper sleep, reduced cramps, steadier energy, and more strength during exercise. That's not placebo, that's the body finally having the raw material it needs to activate the enzymes that power muscle recovery and energy production. The mitochondria, the powerhouses inside your cells, depend on magnesium to function efficiently. Without enough, they can't produce ATP, the molecule that fuels muscle contractions. Once your magnesium levels are restored with a proper form, your mitochondria start firing again, and suddenly your strength and stamina return. But the quality of the supplement matters just as much as the form. Many low-cost magnesium products are filled with fillers, binders, and artificial colors that can interfere with absorption. Look for high-quality, pure forms labeled as magnesium glycinate chelate or magnesium malate complex. Avoid blends that include oxide or carbonate. These are cheaper and less effective. Always take magnesium with food, ideally in the evening, because it enhances absorption and helps your body wind down for restful sleep. Another overlooked aspect is the timing of magnesium intake. If you train or do any kind of resistance exercise, taking magnesium afterward can speed up muscle recovery by replenishing what's lost during physical activity. You also lose magnesium through sweat. So if you're active or in a warm climate, your need is even higher. Some people even split their dosage. Half in the morning for energy, half at night for relaxation and recovery, to keep blood levels steady throughout the day. Once your body starts absorbing magnesium properly, you'll notice more than just muscle benefits. You'll feel calmer, sleep better, and experience fewer cramps or spasms. Your energy will feel more stable, your recovery faster, and even your metabolism will feel like it's waking up again. That's the power of using magnesium correctly. It's not about taking more, it's about taking the right kind. The form you choose determines whether your body stays stuck in fatigue and stiffness or finally moves into a state of strength, energy, and restoration. For anyone over 60 trying to rebuild muscle, understanding this difference can completely transform the results you get, not in months, but in just a few weeks. Most people know magnesium is essential for muscle health, but very few understand that magnesium doesn't work alone. It's part of a powerful nutrient team that includes potassium and vitamin D, and without these two partners, magnesium can't fully do its job. This is one of the biggest reasons people don't feel the full effects of magnesium supplementation. They're missing the cofactors that make it active. Your body is like a well-coordinated orchestra, and magnesium may be the lead instrument, but potassium and vitamin D are what keep it in tune. When these nutrients are in balance, your body moves from fatigue and weakness to strength, energy, and faster muscle recovery. Let's start with potassium, one of the most underrated electrolytes for muscle growth and cellular energy. Every time your muscle contracts, potassium works hand in hand with magnesium to create and release energy. Magnesium relaxes the muscle, while potassium helps it contract. They're like two sides of the same coin. If one is missing, the system doesn't function properly. Low potassium levels can make you feel weak, sluggish, and even cause cramps, especially during or after physical activity. This imbalance also prevents your cells from properly using the magnesium you take in. That's why even if you're supplementing with magnesium, it won't fully work unless you have enough potassium in your diet. After 60, potassium becomes even more critical because most people naturally lose it through diuretics, blood pressure medications, or simply through aging kidneys. The recommended daily intake is around 700 mg, yet most adults barely reach half of that. The good news is, you don't need pills to fix it. Nature provides plenty of potassium-rich foods that are easy to include. Avocados, spinach, beet greens, mushrooms, and salmon are excellent sources. Even a simple habit like having a large salad daily can restore your potassium reserves naturally. When you do this, you'll start to notice fewer cramps, better muscle tone, and more steady energy throughout the day. That's your body coming back into mineral balance. Now, let's talk about vitamin D, another crucial player in muscle health. A vitamin D acts like a hormone that controls how minerals are absorbed, transported, and used inside your cells. Without adequate vitamin D, your body can't move magnesium and calcium into your bones and muscles effectively. This means even if you're getting enough magnesium and potassium, your cells may not be using them efficiently. Vitamin D also influences testosterone, insulin sensitivity, and energy production, all key components for maintaining muscle mass and strength after 60. Here's something fascinating. Magnesium is actually required to activate vitamin D in your body. Without magnesium, the vitamin D you get from sunlight or supplements stays in its inactive form. At the same time, vitamin D improves magnesium absorption from your digestive tract. It's a two-way partnership, and when one is low, the other struggles to function. This is why people who are magnesium deficient often don't see results from vitamin D supplementation. The nutrient simply can't activate. When you balance both together, that's when the real transformation begins. If you've ever experienced fatigue, weakness, or slow recovery even after exercising, it could be because this trio, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D, is out of sync. They each control vital parts of your muscle function and energy metabolism. Magnesium drives energy creation, potassium powers muscle contractions, and vitamin D ensures both minerals are absorbed and activated properly. When they're balanced, your body starts working like a fine-tuned machine. Muscles feel stronger, recovery speeds up, and that lingering fatigue begins to fade away. For those over 60, the most effective way to restore this balance is through a combination of whole foods and smart supplementation. Start by eating potassium-rich vegetables. Aim for 7 to 10 cups of leafy greens daily if possible. Add sources of healthy fats like avocados and wild-caught salmon to enhance vitamin D absorption. Get regular sun exposure for at least 20 minutes a day, or consider a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement with K2 for better calcium balance. Then, include a bioavailable form of magnesium like glycinate or malate to tie it all together. These simple changes rebuild your foundation from the inside out. Once you bring these nutrients back into harmony, you'll start to feel the difference in ways that go beyond muscle growth. Your energy becomes more stable, your sleep improves, and even your mood feels lighter. That's because magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D don't just support muscles, they support the entire nervous system, cardiovascular function, and cellular health. This combination helps your body recover faster, perform better, and age more gracefully. It's not about taking more of one thing, it's about creating synergy. And when that synergy is restored, your body doesn't just get stronger, it gets younger, more resilient, and more